to the Barkha Chulani channel. Day 31 and counting. Hope you and your loved ones are safe and well. I want to ask a very strange question today. Brace yourselves. Are you ready to die any minute? Yes, you heard right. Are we, you and I, ready to die any minute? Pause, think, and then answer. For those who said yes, well, congratulations. You've been living rather gutsily and with a lot of confidence. You've been following Shakespeare, who said, "A coward dies 1,000 times before his death. The valiant die but once." And for those who were appalled by my question, I can hear you. You must be thinking, is she for real? Therapists are supposed to make their clients feel reassured and positive. Is this some kind of dark humor that she's trying to have at such trying and difficult times when people are actually dying? Relax. Let me explain. I know many of us have been brought up in the recent past with the philosophy of the law of attraction and positive affirmations. We've been taught to stand before mirrors and keep repeating to ourselves, we are safe, we are strong, we are healthy. And many of us have been satiating ourselves with books like The Secret, The Power of Positive Thinking, and God knows what else. The idea that is being propagated by the philosophers of positive thinking is that if you keep visualizing a certain thing by intellectual osmosis, somehow it will go into the unconscious mind. And unfortunately, this is a narrative that we've created to save ourselves. It is fiction. It is not true. And it lasts for a very short time. And before we know it, we are back to square one, constantly needing the reassurance to tell ourselves that everything will be well. So how do we cope with these very difficult and challenging times? In a way, let's prepare to die. The Stoic philosophers proposed a philosophy of negative visualization. They called it the premeditation of evils. What did they mean? Their philosophy was that we have become hedonically adapted to things and taken things for granted. So we take our lives for granted, we take the association with our loved ones for granted, we take our jobs and money for granted. And because of adapting to this hedonic state, in a way, they have never taken center stage of our lives. The Stoics believe that if you prepare to die, you believe that you are going to lose a loved one, and you believe that your job is going to be taken away from you and that you're going to be left with no money. Suddenly, all these things which we valued will come back to center stage. What do they mean? Until now, we have relegated them to the back of our mind. We've never paid attention to them. We have never really lived. We have never really nurtured and made an effort to improve our relationships. And in our jobs, well, we've atrophied and muddled along. So if you really want to prepare for these tough times, imagine yourself dead. Yes, create a visual picture of you dying. It is actually going to teach you how to live, because when you visualize that you're dead, you're actually dead, but more importantly, you will realize the philosophy of YOLO. You only live once. You will realize that time is limited. You will realize that because time is limited, you will make the best and the most of what is available to you in your living years. So paradoxical, when you prepare yourself to die, you will actually live. Act as if your loved ones are also dead. Again, I know, quite a horrifying thought, isn't it? But by preparing to lose our loved ones, we will value and nurture the relationships and the associations that we cherish today. If you visualize that your loved one is not with you anymore, what do you think will happen? You will invest much more time, energy in making those associations and the relationships even more fruitful and satisfying for yourselves. So imagine that you've lost love, because when you lose love, I think you and I will cherish it and try to make the most of it in these limited times that are available to us. Imagine that you've lost your job and that you have no money. That will help you to go back to the drawing board and invest in either skilling yourself some more or improving the skills that you already have. It will help you to go back to your resume, to create a new one, to tap your resources, to network, to see the possibilities. Otherwise, what has been happening is that you've just muddled along with the current job, investing nothing to get any joy from it. So the Stoic philosophers' belief is the more realistic and in a way, the more negatively we visualize reality, the more we will get from it, which is now in the present. So the goal is not positive thinking. The goal is realistic thinking, because actually, if you think realistically, you have an antidote to anxiety. What do I mean? All anxious people seek reassurance. Reassurance is a double-edged sword. I'm sure you've had someone who's constantly reached out to you for reassurance. And after you've reassured them, after a few days, they've come right back to seek it all over again. Optimism requires maintenance. Reassurance is something that ebbs very quickly. But when you and I prepare for the worst, we are doing what Emerson, the great philosopher, said. Face the very thing you're afraid of, then the death of fear is certain. Darwin said, survival of the species. But it isn't survival of the species anymore. For me, those who will survive will be those who are able. So it's the survival of the abilities that will help us through to cope in these difficult times of COVID. I hope you like this episode of Tough-Minded Therapy for Tender-Minded People. Thank you for watching the Varka Chulani channel. Stay safe, stay well, but more importantly, stay home. Till next week, it's goodbye and take care. Look after yourselves and your loved ones.